Hey guys, I am back with my 1-year follow-up on the Kia Soul EV. This vehicle is the loaded version, and I have been driving it for 12 months. And I'm happy to report that it has been completely problem-free. I have not had one issue with this car. It has started every day. It has gotten me where I need to go. The range has been phenomenal. Everything has worked perfectly. I have not even been to the dealer once. And so anyway, back to the review. When I first reviewed this about a year ago, the range was showing, I believe, 95 or 98 miles. That quickly turned into 94 miles when I began my commute. I have a 53-mile commute to work. And so about 94 miles was the beginning point. 1 year later, when I wake up in the morning and look at the range, it reads 90. So I believe we had a 4-mile loss in range in 1 year, or 14,300 miles for me. It's been a daily driver, charge it every night to 100%, drive it the next morning. Rarely do I double charge it in a day because it's just not necessary. So yeah, 365 charges for the most part, and a loss of about 4 miles. What is that, about 5%? Not bad at all. The battery is enormous in this car. Well, in the economy segment. Of course, I understand Tesla can go 200 miles. But in the economy segment, and with the bargain leases they have on these cars, and the cash back from the state that I live in anyway, it is an absolutely phenomenal choice. I'm really happy with the Kia Soul. The back of this thing is enormous. I had no idea how big a vehicle it was. Compared to the Leaf, it's really quite spacey, and you can get a bicycle back there, no trouble. I'll show you in 1 second. And other than that, zero problems, zero maintenance, of course, no oil changes, no tire, no brakes, spark plugs, tune-ups, timing belts, none of that stuff. Okay, just get in and go. You think about it as much as you think about making a piece of toast in the morning. You basically turn it on and it goes. Hey guys, Louie here, listening to a little blues in the Kia. Yeah, you tell them, Floyd. All right, what this little sequence is going to be is hypermiling with Louie. All right, now I'll tell you guys, if you are not a total geek, and unless you have a keen interest in electric vehicles, turn it off right now. This will bore you to tears. But what we're going to do is we are going to learn how to get the maximum range out of our Kia Soul 100% electric vehicle. All right, back at you in 1 second with my first tip. Okay guys, here's my dashboard, and as you can see, I am on Eco Level 5. I have just started the first leg of my commute. The rangefinder says I have 89 miles left on my battery, which is pretty nearly full. What we're going to be focused on is staying in the eco range. You notice that there is a blue charge range, a green eco range, and a white power range. All right, so the goal of maximizing your range in an EV and minimizing your cost, even though I only spend, 15 cents a kilowatt, about $3 or $3 to $4 on a full charge on this vehicle. What you want to do is minimize the energy that you use, and you do so by trying to keep in the green range. So one of the ways that we do this is by minimizing the use of power when we start up. So you'll want to have a slow rolling start, and then you will want to remain in the eco range as much as possible once you are rolling. the optimal, I believe the optimal miles per hour for an electric vehicle is going to be down in that 25 to 35 mile range. Pardon me while I turn here. Okay, now presently I'm going up a hill with a 50-mile speed limit, so I can't really dawdle down here and tick off everybody behind me. So you notice that I am using power, but I'm on a pretty good incline, trying to get up to 50 miles an hour. Now this is not the point where you floor it like that. See me using the power? You don't really want to do that because you're depleting excess range when you do that. You want to get to a standard speed and certainly get down to the eco level, the least number of green bars you can use as possible. When you decelerate, okay, the optimal charge back to the battery is when you are decelerating using the gearbox or the transmission, whichever you want to refer to it as. Brakes will charge your battery back, but the optimal charge for your battery is decelerating using the engine itself as the brake. And then the next most optimal recharge is the using the brakes. And then if you had it in neutral, of course, you would get no benefit to the battery. You're not using resistance to charge it back up. And although that is minimal in the big scheme of power usage, you know, the regeneration, if you're trying to hypermile and get the most you can out of your battery, or you've overdone it and you're a little too far from home, these tips will come in very handy. Could make the difference between you making it home and needing a tow. All right, I'll be right back in. All right, I just put on the UVO screen, which is a little tree that tells you how you're driving, what your manner of fuel efficiency is, and you can see I'm still really at the base of the tree. Been driving a little aggressively lately, so we're going to see if we can fill this tree all the way to the top. When it's all the way to the top, you're getting maximum range efficiency, and that's what our goal is. So let's see if by the end of this drive, you see it's 7:42 right now. By the time I get to work, let's see if we can make this tree grow. I think I'm going to turn off my air conditioner. I believe that does drain battery as well. Matter of fact, I know it does. So the next thing I do will be to turn off my air conditioner. All right, and now we are coming up on one of my favorite aspects of an electric vehicle, and this is true in many cities, not all, but when you get this vehicle, you can apply for HOV lane stickers, which again in many cities, especially congested ones, larger metropolitan areas, will get you onto the freeway without waiting. So let's see what the wait is like today for the ICE vehicles. The internal combustion engine vehicles sit in this long line of cars waiting to get on the freeway. Matter of fact, there are so many of them I can barely squeeze through. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we're in the HOV lane. This is meant for people with 2 or more passengers. And these are the vehicles that are waiting. This wait from this point is 20 minutes, maybe 30, depending on how quickly it's rolling. All right, so another advantage to being in an HOV stickered car. You can also pay for access on most days, which is actually quite expensive. It's like $5, I think, one way on a busy day. So there they all are, waiting to get on. Okay, these are the late adopters. If you're one of the early adopters, you get this, and it costs nothing, in addition to the cost of the car, which is below the cost of an internal combustion engine if you lease it. Okay, so now back at you 1 second. Speed. Now you could do that like that Corvette. You can go 65, 75 miles an hour, hope the cops don't get you. But honestly, the best speed on a freeway is the lowest continuous speed you can achieve. So some people I know drive 55. That's quite annoying to the rest of the world. I recommend 65. So I'm going to sit at 65 over here on the right hand. in the express lane that I'm in, and we're going to do 65 until I hit traffic. And honestly, I normally drive faster than that, and that's why my eco level is 4.1 or something. But you can see the tree is already growing. So we're doing 65. You have to remember there is a lot of drag on this vehicle. This Kia Soul has got to be one of the least aerodynamic EVs out there. So that's how it gets all the extra space. It is quite boxy. You're getting a lot of resistance from the wind as you drive, and keeping your speed down will minimize battery usage. All right, if you ever again start to run out of battery, you'll want to probably get off the freeway and move to side streets and be in that 25-mile-an-hour zone where you can really get just incredible increases in range if you drive at a slower speed. Back at you in a minute. Oh, and notice the eco button is also on. That is the green button below the speedometer. That is allowing us to utilize the energy generation when we slow down, and I believe it also slows us on acceleration a little bit. A slow acceleration will add more to your battery life than quick rapid acceleration. Back at you in 1 minute. See that? I'm going too fast already. Yeah, I just happened to get passed by a Tesla, so I'm going to speed up here a little bit and break my rule and give you guys a look at the Tesla S model. Of course, you know, those get over 200-mile range and are pretty phenomenal cars, but there it is up there, the white one. Looks like that's the one with the kid seats in the back. Just thought I'd show you that. I can't really get you a good shot. All right, I'm out of the express lane. I'm into normal traffic. While I look for my next hypermiling opportunity, I wanted to talk a little bit about elevation. Talk about elevation, so you may not realize it, but elevation has a big impact on your commute and your range. So even in every city, almost no matter how flat it is, there is going to be an elevation change. And you need to take that into account when you're planning your trips and you're judging the range on your battery, especially if you are in a vehicle that is depletes more easily or has a lower range. So, you know, when I first got my first electric car, I wondered why it was that my way to work, I got, you know, a certain amount of I used a certain amount of energy, and my way back I used that much plus some. And it turns out in my community there is a slight elevation change. On the way to work it is a decline, and on the way home it is an incline. Even though that change is somewhat slight, it's not like they're mountains or something I'm going up. It really does dramatically change the range on your vehicle. So you want to be cognizant of that, and there are even apps and websites out there that will let you calculate elevation changes in your city and assess what the impact on your trip will be. Again, this is extremely important if you're, you know, in a lower range vehicle and you only have so much battery to get home. All right, I am looking for another opportunity. I'll be right back at you. And here is the opportunity I was looking for. Yes, we found ourselves a big truck. Here he comes. Now what we're going to do is we are going to vent behind this truck. I've got to use a little power. Notice my tree is at full bloom. Got to use a little power to get up on this guy. But what we're going to do, and I don't recommend this, and please don't do it because I'm doing it. As a matter of fact, I recommend you don't do this. But again, if you're trying to extend your range, you'll want to find the biggest truck you can find and lock right behind it. And I know you truckers know about this, and I do think it's a little dangerous. But if you're trying to extend your range, especially on the freeway when you're going, you know, beyond the economical speed, staying in the vent of a large vehicle can be very, very helpful. It also allows you to go at a lower speed without everybody getting mad at you because, you know, you're behind the truck. All right, so you do definitely want to stay back in here, a safe enough distance back to not have an accident. but not so far away that you don't get any benefit from him braking the air for you. And here is the energy utilization while I'm doing this. You can see I'm going 58 miles an hour and I am in the eco zone. And again, we're going up and down. Elevation is changing, so that does change. But I am venting behind this truck. It's 7:56. Let me see how long I can get away with doing this. All right, we are still venting behind the truck. It's 7:58. We're now on a pretty steep decline, and what I would normally do is I would let the vehicle slow itself down. I don't want to lose the truck, but you'll notice that we're in charge mode as we're declining down the road here. When I had the Leaf, it was much easier to put the car in neutral, get a good head of steam, and then charge all the way down the hill. But I don't want to lose the truck. But definitely on a decline like this, you're adding range to your battery. You're in the blue charge zone. Still got the truck. Okay, I lost that truck, but I picked up another one. Heartland Meat Company. We're on a different freeway now, and I don't have much longer to go. I'll be at work shortly. It is 8 o'clock, so that's 4 minutes behind the trucks. Okay, now I've lost my truck, and I'm just going to go back to normal driving mode. Back at you in a minute. So as we wrap this up, you'll see my tree is in full bloom, but you can certainly do better than I have done here. It's 8:01. I have got 74 miles remaining on the odometer. My utilization is 4.1. That is a longer term. That's me. That's how I drive pretty much. But if you do this hypermiling stuff all the time, you'll definitely be up much higher than 4.1. You could probably get this range up to 100 miles pretty easily, even in a 1-year-old vehicle like this one, if you really were intent on driving efficiently. So I've got a full tree. I've got Echo Level 8, and still plenty of miles. As I mentioned, my commute is over 50 miles, and I'm over halfway into it since I dropped my son off in the morning at school. So there's 73 miles left to go. I could do this twice. So anyway, hope you enjoyed Hypermiling with Louie, and all you geeks and nerds, you take care out there.